Good morning everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. Now, this is going to be my Sunday chat video, my Sunday Squirrels video, except it's Saturday that I'm filming it for a change, and I'm going to put it out on Sunday instead of Monday, because I'm just trying to get everything lined up. So it is Saturday. Darryl is at a market with Sonnet and a couple of the other kids selling some Christmas stuff at a Christmas market, a local school. And I have spent the whole week basically prepping for that. And now that's done and I'm glad, and I'm now going to just line up more tissue paper holders and stuff on the printers tomorrow. Today I've taken a bit of a break from the printers. There's glare on this. Let me just try and cut that down. Some significant glare on that bench that was really driving me nuts. So it is Saturday there at the market. It is already lunchtime, so I'm just actually putting a pan on now to cook some chips and gravy and stuff for lunch for the twins and I who are left behind. Something really nice and simple and a bit of a treat. But I wanted to film my Sunday Squirrel today so that I could start fresh from tomorrow. Darryl has church tomorrow and a few of the kids are going with him. I don't know which kids are going with him, which aren't, because it's at one of the towns over from us, and they're doing some sort of a lunch or something afterwards or something. So he's gone for most of the day tomorrow. And a couple of the kids who want to go with him are going with him. It's a bit more of a drive, a bit more of a time spent and things like that. So he's gone for most of tomorrow as well. So I wanted to get this done today so that I could start fresh tomorrow and see how we go. So it's been a big week now. Sorry, I'm cooking as well. So it's been a big week. James came in on Monday and we got 1.5 patios done. I will take you out and show you that in a minute when I'm not cooking lunch. So we got one full patio done, and then the main really heavy pieces of the second patio done so that Darryl and I should be able to complete the rest of it. We've got a couple of really big D&D jobs on at the moment that are due this month, and we really need the cash for them for groceries, but also they just need to get done. So we haven't been getting a lot done outside of those since James came, but we got one patio up, which is great, and it rained and it kept the rain out, and that was the main thing. The second one is halfway done. The kitchen roof we didn't get done, but we did come up with a plan. So the biggest problem with the kitchen roof is that you have to be in the yard to access the space that we need to put the panels up on the roof. And my dogs don't like strangers, and no one comes here often enough for them to tolerate strangers very well, and they're a little reactive. One of my dogs, the mum, so we have Daisy, who is the mum, and then Bear and Cyborg were pups of hers. Now Daisy, a couple of years ago, had an accident. They had collars on and the breakaway didn't work on her collar, and Cyborg and her were wrestling, and Cyborg got his jaw caught in her collar and it twisted. She almost died, lost blood supply, lost oxygen supply, had petechial hemorrhaging, wet herself, all that sort of thing. We saved them both. Cyborg has some damage to his bottom jaw. He drools quite a lot because the lip on one side of his jaw is damaged where it was caught. We did save them both, got them both fine, and they are fine in most senses, but Daisy is more reactive than she was. So she's a cattle dog anyway, she's a guard dog, and we don't get people here very often, so she was already fairly reactive, but she is even more so. And because of that, whilst we don't have any issues with the family members or anything, she's completely loyal. She does everything Darryl tells her to, goes and sits on the couch when told to, and all the rest of it. She is a little unpredictable with strangers. So we just don't want to take a risk. And that is our choice there to make sure that that's not an issue. Now, we do not have anywhere to lock them up at the moment. There is a kennel type space that Lamington uses that's filled with straw that we could lock all 3 dogs in, but the problem is that they get really reactive when they're locked up together and there's someone in the yard, and then it ends up with fights, and it's just not worth it. So we came up with a plan. All that to say, we came up with a plan. The pool fence, currently you exit into the yard and then you go through a pool gate to get into the pool. And I hate that because they walk through dirt. So they're getting in and out of the pool through dirt, and it drives me nuts because there's dirt walked into the patio, there's dirt walked into the pool, all of those things. So what I want to do is move the gate because the pool fencing I can't show you because there's too much junk there at the moment because that's part of what we're doing. The pool fence and the patio are the same wall. So what we want to do is we want to take the pool fencing away from that section there, re-fence it and put a gate in that side so that instead of leaving the patio to go into the pool, they're going from the patio straight to the pool. In doing that, we're going to have some extra fencing available. So we're going to extend the kitchen fencing that is currently pool fencing, as well as some temporary fence panels that we've got star picketed in. We're going to extend that fencing out further so that we can work on the kitchen roof without being in the yard. So James is going to come back through this way. It may not be until January, but that's life. We've been doing it this long. But he's going to come back through this way, and we'll work on extending that fence in the meantime so that it is all ready, so that when he comes in, we can just lift all those roof panels up and get the kitchen roof done. And then if we've got it all planned out appropriately for when he's here, we can get the kitchen moved around too. So there is a full timber kitchen in the other side. You don't see it very often because it's on the other side, under protected roof. I only have the stainless steel and stuff on this side, and I want to move that full wooden kitchen out here so that I've got access to the sink and stuff without having to walk all the way around to it. To do that though, we had to have it waterproofed and things like that. So, but moving that kitchen will be not much fun either. So hopefully we can organize it all so that he can come in and do the roof and help us to relocate the kitchen in the same sort of span. But yeah, so we got the back patio done. As I said, I'll take you out there shortly. I'm just cooking some lunch at the moment. But that was great. It was awfully nice to feel some progression on some jobs, some of the bigger jobs that just haven't been able to be completed. We really need to get the garden space. It's so late now, but maybe I'll be able to do winter veggies this year. I don't know. Anyway, all my seedlings are out on the back patio, but some of them are really struggling because I haven't potted them up appropriately, because we haven't got the new garden space sorted. But again, we've just been so busy and so tied up in so many things, and we'll get there. But yes, so let me get this lunch sorted and then I'll come back. So lunch is done, amongst other things that I got sidetracked doing. So what I was going to chat about today was I want to show you that patio. I have to walk out the front there. But the plans for sort of Vlogmas / Christmas videos, I suppose. So I've mentioned before that each year I try and do Vlogmas and I don't do it very well because I struggle to keep up. And having a shop right in the middle of December makes it hard too. But what I have been talking to some people about, I had some discussions about recipes on Discord and in the comments, and just talking to some people about what I'm going to try and do is film something each day, if not multiple somethings in a day, but turn them into quick 15-20 minute episodes. And try and get them out most days. We will see how we go. This is all, theoretical. These things there'll be a lot of Christmas baking. So I've got a bunch of Christmas recipes that I'm planning on making over the span. So I have discussed before the idea of eating all the Christmas baking in the lead up to Christmas is great, because then I don't need to do it all for Christmas Day, when too much to eat anyway. But we still get to have those things. So in the lead up to Christmas, we'll be doing a whole bunch of Christmas baking of things that we want to try. But what I might do is use it to create some of those single subject videos as well that aren't necessarily Christmas. Like I think I'm going to make some bagels up tomorrow, and that's the new same day bagel recipe. And maybe I'll film that start to finish of the bagels and just put a video out for the bagels. That kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see how we go. As I said, everything's good in theory, but actual practice is different. And I still have around about 21 orders, I think, left of the 50 odd that I am printing and packing and sorting. Hopefully have them all done by the end of this week. That is the plan. And that way they're all off on their way in time for Christmas, well and truly. I have been focusing on any international orders and getting them out as quickly as possible over the local ones, just for postage purposes. The new tariffs have kicked postage up quite a lot. I don't know that I sort of breaking even on a lot of that sort of stuff, but that's fine. That's just the way it is at the moment. And I really enjoy getting these things out to you guys. So, yeah, I'm a bit I'm a bit stumped. All right, sorry, got sidetracked. So I need to get a couple of things done while I'm out here as well. So in regards to the cooking and stuff, I have ordered a couple of extra ingredient things that I wouldn't normally buy. I bought some of the pastry, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, that they use in the Dubai chocolates because I have pistachio spread and I thought that would be really cool. We will try some new ice cream flavors, maybe some Christmas based ice cream flavors, and all that sort of stuff. So I am making a list of things. I will need some ingredients and to be able to sort that out. But I think that, yeah, there'll be some standardized, just standard my cooking that isn't necessarily Christmas as such throughout that period as well, if I want to try and get enough content to do it sort of, 20-minute videos 4 or 5 times a week. That's the idea. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I was going to make myself a iced coffee in one of my, Christmassy cups. These are going to be really good. I don't think I mentioned that. So I really want one of the slushy machines. I've mentioned that before. So Mum has actually bought me the Ninja brand one for Christmas. It's getting delivered to her. I'll pick it up when I go and do the next lot of groceries. I managed to get it on sale through Big W with 5,000 extra bonus points and things like that. And she's bought that for us for Christmas. Not just me, because the kids and stuff will use it. I'd still really like to see if I could grab a cheap one as a second one for over the Christmas festive season, because I'd really like the idea of some slushy cocktails in one for, especially when Mum's visiting over the week that she visits, and then have standard drinks in a second one so the kids still get to use it. But I only if I can find one of the really cheap ones. Coles had one for sale that went on sale yesterday in the Best Buys catalogue, and I noticed that it was unavailable within like half an hour of it going in the Best Buys catalogue. Big W does have a cheaper version one. I have looked at that. Kogan has a cheaper one. All of these places have these cheaper ones. I don't know. It would have just been nice to have grabbed a Kmart one, because I've seen people be happy with that. Though the Coles one was a Germanica brand, and Germanica is not a bad brand, but we'll see. Anyway, side note, these will be really good for the slushies, is what I was thinking. The kids can all have theirs if they can find the ones from last year, if they haven't been broken, or we will put whatever prints I have left on some new ones for them. I think I've only got the small ones left of these, if I remember correctly. I think I've sold most of the larger ones, and I think I've sold all of the acrylic ones, so I've only got the smaller glass ones left of these, but that's fine. But totally just what I was getting at was I'm going to make some coffee syrup. I actually ordered it from Coles or Woolworths, had it half price, and I think I ordered a dozen bottles. I just went ahead and ordered a dozen bottles to Mum's place, and I'll pick them up when I do the shopping. The price, when I worked out the cost, the price per serving of the Nescafe concentrate is very similar to making my own with their instant coffee, because instant coffee has gone up so much in price. Now, Costco was a good price for it, but the cost of this is just so high that it's pretty much the same price. And except for the lack of packaging, which is always nice when making it your own, there is some flaws to making it yourself when you don't do it with sugar. If you do it with sugar, it's different. I've made it with sugar before, and it turns into this coffee syrup, and it works perfectly. It lasts really well in the fridge and everything else. Doing it without the sugar, it tends to, you get a bit of a sludge in the bottom even though you're cooking it and you're dissolving it and all the rest of it. If it sits in the fridge for too long, it does get a little bit of a sludge in the bottom, and it does get a little bit bitter. So we've been drinking it regardless, and that's fine. But for the cost factor, I decided to order some of the pre-made stuff because it's just so much smoother. And I know that that's the additives in it and all the rest of it, preservatives, whatever else. But when you're only having one a day and it's the same cost, then that's what you do, isn't it? So I'm going to make myself some up now, though, because I have none of the stuff I've bought left last shop. And we will drink it and we will enjoy it. But I do like the convenience of those pre-made bottles and the fact that they were the same from top to bottom of the bottle. That's the problem with this one, is that it's different from fresh to when you next make it. So I'll only make about 500 mils of it. because that's about 5 days worth, and that's probably the limit of it. Again, if there was sugar added, it'd be different because it would then be a coffee syrup with sugar. And I did contemplate trying to add allulose. Maybe I'll try that this time. Maybe I'll try adding some allulose to it, because we have been using our squirt bottle sugar-free for everything. So maybe that's what I'll do. So that's that. Now, the other thing I need to do is smoothie pops for the kids. So that's why I've just thought I'd come back out to the kitchen. I don't really want to be out here. I'm a bit tired and hot and over it, but I did want to make a coffee milk and I couldn't, so I need to do something, and I may as well make them their smoothie pops as well. So let's get this done. So all I'm going to do is 100 grams of instant coffee with 100 grams of allulose and probably 600 grams of water, I think is what I'll do ratio wise, and we will see how that goes over time. Now, the reason I was sort of avoiding using the sweetener is that because you have to use allulose, because if we're using a sugar-free sweetener, anything with erythritol in it has a tendency to crystallize. So even though we'd cook it, there's a tendency for it to crystallize in the fridge afterwards. It's just the nature of the sweetener. So so you don't want to use that for something that you're going to store in the fridge and use in a liquid form sort of thing. Allulose does not crystallize once it's cooked. It also can caramelize a little bit and things like that, but it's also like 3 times the price. It's great for certain things because it doesn't have the same cooling effect to the mouth that erythritol in that does. Allulose doesn't do that. It also has the capacity to caramelize, which erythritol in that can't do. But to get those benefits, you're paying a significant premium. So there's that trade-off. So I tend to refrain from using it if I can, just because of the cost factor. When you look at the cost of this, it is like $5 per 100 or something, and when I'm using raw sugar, you're talking 16 cents per 100 or 20 cents per 100, I think it's gone up to. So that is a significant price, and I know that the trade-off is the sugar versus sugar-free, and for Darryl that's fairly important. He is still trying to maintain a semblance of keto carnivore style. But for me, I sort of have given up on it. I have reduced my intake in a lot of places. And with these iced coffees, we have reduced the carb count and that in it because we're using watered down cream instead of milk, which the carb count on that is a lot lower. And we use the sugar-free syrups, but we use them in the pump style that I've shown before. These ones, we're using white chocolate at the moment. So these are from iHerb. If I remember, I'll put a link to these. They're actually 20% off at the moment, I think. And they work out about $25 per 750 ml bottle. But I get significant amount out of each of them, so that doesn't worry me. The cost factor works out when I calculate it out to have that in my coffee and my iced coffees and stuff, and to limit the carbs and sugars in those. So I am being mindful about calories and things like that, and reducing things where it's easy to reduce things, but I'm also not being particularly pedantic about it, whereas Darryl is still trying to keep things pretty much low-carb carnivore, and benefiting from it, though he has been sliding a little bit lately and has noticed the difference when he's not doing it. So he does want to try and do better. I think the biggest problem is that I cook for everyone, and a lot of the food that I'm cooking is not low-carb carnivore because I'm cooking for the children as well, and I will just pick and eat whatever. I don't have a particularly large appetite, so I can just pick at food and not be that concerned. But he has a significant appetite and is trying to eat within the scope of what he's supposed to be eating. And when we did the last meat order, I bought all those cube roll steaks, and that was a really good way. He would just pull a cube roll out of the freezer every couple of days, and he'd just slice some pieces off it whenever we were eating something he couldn't, and have that with some veggies or whatever else. And that worked really well. We have run out of that steak. He's been eating some rump lately, but we're almost out of that as well. And so that makes it slightly more difficult. But steak is expensive, and it's worth it to do for him when that's, we were going to do another bulk meat order sort of nowish for the end of the year. They have a Black Friday sale at the moment as well, so everything's a couple bucks off per kilo. But I just don't really have it in the budget. So for us to order through Meat Online, which is who we order through, because we are not Metro, and because it gets delivered out here, they only deliver on Fridays, and only if I organise it. And we have to order, it's like $120 or something delivery, no matter what we order, unless we go really huge, which is fine, but it means that we have to do a significant order to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, that $120 is kicking up the dollar per kilo too much, and it's not worthwhile. So we sort of do a $1,500 order, and that's fine as long as you're getting enough kilos to break that shipping up to make it worthwhile. And I just can't budget that in at the moment. So we're having to figure things out. I need to make him some more fat bombs and things like that, which are basically like little cream cheese balls and things like that, low carb filling things that he can just go and snack on. And I need to figure out some more meat sorted for him to be able to just grab for meals and stuff. But we're getting there. It's challenging when he's the only one on it. When we were both doing it, then I found it a lot easier because I was better about making sure that there was food cooked for us both to be eating it. But now I just pick at whatever I make the kids, and that makes it more difficult. And he doesn't like to put me out by having to make entirely other meals. So, anyway, that was a squirrel again. So, yes. So, I don't know. I think that started talking about allulose, didn't it? Anyway, I'm tired. So I'm going to make this coffee syrup up. I'm going to chill it, and I'll have it a coffee milk a bit later. But I do need to make some smoothie pops for the kids. So I'm going to do that. You've seen me do it plenty of times. I'm going to raid the freezer for a bunch of frozen fruit, get it all in the molds, and get that done and in the freezer for the kids, especially while it's hot. They have run out at the moment. They have run out of Ninja Creamies as well. So I need to do that at some time this week too. Again, maybe I can turn that just into a video of Ninja Creamies. Like, I don't know how it'll work. We will see. Christmas season is always challenging to fit everything in. We did get the kids, so most years it's not for any particular reason. It's a bit, you know how you use Christmas as an excuse to do certain things. Like, we generally only have potato salad at Christmas time because it's a Christmas thing. And I love potato salad, and I could make it all the time, but I don't. I generally only make it at Christmas time. Things like that. One of the other things that we have a tendency to do is over the Christmas period, and I suppose we're in school holidays now, we will be shortly, but when we were homeschooling, we didn't do school holidays the same way when we weren't doing the distance ed stuff. Anyway, we tend to do hair dyes. The kids really like to do bright colours in their hair, and I'm happy to do that for them. And we tend to do it around Christmas time each year, just as a novelty thing. It's not like we can't do it any other time of the year, but we just tend to. So Sonnet had an optometrist appointment the other day. Darryl took her into Toowoomba for that, and I let her choose the colours. So I sent her sent him to Price Attack or whatever, somewhere where there's fairly cheap hair dye. And we had some powdered bleach. We just needed some of the liquid stuff. So we will go through and bleach and dye the kids' hair over the next week or so. Sonnet would like an undercut in this heat, so we need to get that done. So that's another thing that might be a video worth. We will see. As usual, there's Christmas craft to be done. We have some shrinky dinks and things like that as well. It has been less focused on this year because of the 3D printing and stuff so far, but we're not in December yet either. It's just creeping up really fast, and I think it feels like it's creeping up faster than normal because I have to get stuff posted out. Maybe, I don't know. I've got the Advent stuff getting sorted now. Because I've had so many orders of things, I haven't actually managed to get a Advent calendar printed out for each of the kids like I was going to. So I actually bought some brown paper bags. And I'm going to put things in them and staple them and put them in like lucky dip boxes this year, I think is how I'm going to work it. And I actually think it might work better because there is some things that I think would be more inclined to go to certain kids, or I bought 5 of, and if they were randomized in the balls, then might mean that one child gets like a couple of each thing, which may not be the best way to go. So maybe if I split them all up into the paper bags and then they have their own tub of lucky dip, and that means that each child is not getting double ups on things for their Advent, that might work out quite well. I did grab some Christmas books as well because Darryl reads the kids books of an evening. They do reading most evenings when they go to bed, and so I thought I'd get some new Christmas books to add to our ones we already had, so I got some of those as well as sort of part of Advent and stuff. But I'm trying to keep things as simple as possible whilst also being fun, whilst also trying to invoke the spirit of Christmas, of family time, of novelty items, of things that are different at this time of year than normal, which is things like lollies and stuff. Like kids get lollies on and off throughout the year, but they're definitely a much bigger thing around Christmas time, and those little novelty like Advent type things. I don't like a lot of that sort of stuff coming into the house because it ends up being rubbish, but the kids adore, like all kids seem to adore those little like natty little weird things. So I went ahead and I bought a bunch of them, and it's a couple $100 worth. That's, I'm honest there, it's a couple $100 worth of Advent stuff for over the month. But that's between the 5 kids, and that is over the 125. So that's at least 5 items over 25 days. So that each child gets something every day for all of December. And a couple $100, I think, it's part of Christmas. That's part of their Christmas presents. Like, that is part of the gifts for Christmas. So I've ordered a few things for Christmas for different people coming in, but we haven't done much. And the kids don't want a whole lot. Like I asked Apollo the other day, and he would like a body pillow, which is fine. I will get him a body pillow. I would have bought him one anyway, but because it's leading up to Christmas, it can be a Christmas gift. I started saying, what else do you want? He just went, the kids pretty much have everything they need. So it makes it hard sometimes for gifts. So he may just get a $50 card to use towards games on the computer or something. We will see. I did notice the other day too, my Amazon wish list, someone is adding other things to it. I don't know why or how. Must have given the wrong link at some point. But my Australian Amazon wish list had weird things added to it. And I'm not entirely sure why. Like, why would you add something to someone else's wish list? But anyway, it's strange. But I'm not very good at adding to it. I know everyone said I should add stuff for the kids and all that sort of thing, but I just, yeah. All right, so my coffee concentrate is done. I'm going to let that cool before I decant that into something to be used. And now that my Thermomix is free, I'm just going to make a bunch of smoothie pops. So I'll have a think if there's anything else I want to say while I'm making them, but otherwise I'll bring you back at the end. Just a reminder, frozen fruit. These are frozen strawberry and mango. I got some frozen bricks of orange here, bananas, mango, and whole strawberries all in here. So I'm going to break that up into a couple of batches. Then I put some coconut cream in, a little bit of apple juice, some water, and we use a protein powder in there as well. Helps with thickening because there's a thickener in these as well as sweetness. Macromike, I always say I asked to be an affiliate. They didn't want me, but in saying that, their Black Friday sale is on at the moment, so if you want to give them a go, I have bought my Black Friday order because generally speaking I only buy at Black Friday and like Boxing Day. I buy like twice a year, take advantage of the sale, and that's what I use. So I'm just going to throw everything into the Thermomix, get it nice and smooth, and we'll get it in the molds. These are the molds I use. I'll try and remember to link them on Amazon. Maybe they're on Black Friday sale as well. I really like them. They're nice and compact for the fridge, easy to get the pops in and out. I like the fact that I'm using wooden popsicle sticks because if they come with like plastic sticks, we lose them. And I know that that's going to happen, and it's not worth it. So we use wooden sticks. A Thermomix jug, each cavity is around about 90 mils. A Thermomix jug will fill approximately 2 molds full. And yeah, I just really like them. I think they're about $25 per set of 2. So I will try and pop my affiliate link in the description on these as well. The trade up for Thermomix got extended as well. So if anyone was interested in the trade up to a 7 with their Thermomix, there is money back on other models, and it has been extended until the first week of December. So please reach out if there's anyone who's interested in that, because I can help you out with that. I always forget to mention the fact that I am a Thermomix consultant, so if anyone watching needs some assistance or would like some help with purchasing, I can do that, and I thoroughly appreciate anyone thinking of me when they're doing that. I have seen some other online consultants making some massive numbers of sales in the last couple of months with the trade up, and I know that they work hard to do that, but it would be really nice to have had some of them come my way, but I have to actually remember to mention it and things like that for me to do that. So anyway, so yeah, I was just going to show you in case anyone's watching who hasn't seen me make them yet, which is unlikely because I make them a lot, but this is how it works. And then they have these silicone lids that go on top that hold the sticks in place. So I will try and link these. So I'm going to do 6 sets of these. We go through a lot of them. I do not really limit the kids on these. These are smoothies. And if they were having a jug of smoothie, like if they were just drinking the jug, then the 5 of them would drink that jug in one sitting. So this is a portion control smoothie. Basically, it means that they have 2, 3, 4, whatever over the span of a day and enjoy the cold smoothie over that time, rather than just sitting and drinking it all at once. So because they're only about a 90 ml cavity, they are pretty much unlimited. Want something, then this is what they have. Some of the kids are more inclined to drink them than others, to eat them than others, and that's fine too. So whoever wants them can have them. And yes, I make them very regularly because with 5 kids eating them, this is 24 of them. That's only 4 each. They could potentially eat that in a couple of days pretty easily. So, and we store these in the freezer. So it is easier to keep them clean by just having them in the freezer all the time. Once they're empty, they go back in the freezer, fold it up, and then when I go to fill them again, I grab them out of the freezer, much like how I store my Ziploc bags in the freezer. They are very flexible, so I do carry them over to the freezer on a board and then place them in the fridge. I think that's about all I need to say. So I'm just going to do the rest of these and get them in the freezer. Alrighty, all of those, check mic. All right, all of those smoothie pops are in the freezer for this week, so that's good, that's done. Coffee syrup is chilling. I still haven't made myself a coffee, and by the time it's cold, it's probably be later than I really want to have one. But I wanted to show you the patio before I finished up. So this is the first one we've built. So this is the front of the breezeway between the 2 sections of building, and when we built the breezeway, I ran out of money basically, so we only went to 9 meters out instead of the full 12. But the problem is that we didn't have a gutter or anything hung on there, and so we'd get water through there. Now of course we had a wall here. It was metal wall. At the moment we've just got insect netting because we're in the middle of everything else, so it's screened but not walled off, and at night time we cover more of it. That pipe there is the exhaust for the laser cutter for the family trees and the stars and things like that. This is the structure that we built. This is going to be great. We're going to put a bit of a fence across the front of it like we've got on the back patio so that the birds don't go in there. We'll put some pavers down and we'll have this space to come out. Now of a morning, this is fairly shaded. Of an evening it's fairly shaded, but the back deck of a morning is quite sunny, so it means that this deck could be used of a morning. Might get like a little round table and a couple of chairs, can sit out here and have coffee or whatever when it's hot. It'll just be really nice. But we can also use this as our front door because the house yard is just there where the dogs are, and so we don't take people through the house yard into the house because the dogs, Cyborg's sitting there saying, "Hey puppy, hey puppy." So we don't take the people through the yard because of the dogs, of course, but we have been taking them all the way around the back of the house to take them in. So now we'll be able to use this as a front door once we get it finished. We will put a door in there and have it sliding and stuff. And it also give us access to our water transfer easier, because at the moment we had to walk all the way around to get the water transfer station. Now at the back we got the main beams up. So the main beams on this side and the main beams on the house are all up. So now we just need to put the joist hangers and the joists up, which we should be able to do, Darryl and I, and get that sorted. If you can see over here, we got our turkey army. Now that the turkeys have been let out and are free ranging and amongst everything else over here. Bought the kids a bike stand, but do they ever put the bikes in the bike stand? Anyway. So yes, that's our turkeys. But yeah, so we got those beams up, and that means that we should be able to do the joists and stuff on our own, and get the roofing up, which will be nice. They took the table for the market today, so all my plants are on the ground at the moment, but we will get there. And we've got the batteries for the next lot of solar. That's the other thing. They did get all the solar panels up on the roof. They haven't been installed in any way yet, but they're on the roof, which was a big thing. Darryl and I hadn't been able to get them up on the roof because I had to lift them halfway up the ladder, and then he had to lift them the rest of the way from the ladder to the roof, and we just haven't been able to do it. So all the solar panels are on the roof now, so now we can wire them up and we can get this set of batteries going as well, which will run the 3D printers and stuff and allow me to run them of an evening as well, because you can't run the 3D printers while the generator is topping up the solar. So to be able to run them off a different circuit will be ideal. So anyway, I think that's everything that I need to just do a quick catch up for Sunday. And then from this point forward, we'll see how we go with starting off some sort of short form. I don't know. Anyway, they're heading back from the market now. The advent calendars. I put a video up on Facebook. I'll put it here. It's gone. There's like 100,000 views of it on Facebook and that. Anyway, I have 6 of them that we printed up for the market. I don't know if they sold any. I'll have to wait till but by the time I get this video out, I'll be able to tell you. So I will put them up on the website when this video goes live. Limited amount of them because it's too late. They need to be posted Monday, Tuesday to get to people before they need them for an advent. So I'm not printing any more of them this year. That's just the limit of what I've got printed that went to the market. So they will be up for sale as well. And yeah. I think that's it. So I will catch you all on the next video, and let me know in the comments if there's any recipes still that you think I should give a go. So thanks for that, and see you next time.